Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Today I wanted to put a quick little video together in response to some comments and thoughts on the Battlefield 4 wishlist video that I did last week. Now I'm going to do a bigger video on this relating to your top 5 suggestions, which will cover a broad range of features for the game that were discussed. But this one in particular will just focus on esports or some sort of competitive version of the game. So let's start off by looking at some other successful esports games, the big dogs so to speak, and let's have a look at why they're so popular and why they work well as a competitive tournament game. The first ones that come to mind for me, historically speaking, are Counter-Strike, StarCraft, League of Legends and Dota, so that includes Dota 2 and StarCraft 2. I think a lot of people would agree on that too. Now, what do these games have in common? Well, first off, they've all got excellent spectator modes and recording functions. It's very easy to watch a live match in any of these games and also record a game and play it back at a later date. This function is an absolute necessity for a good tournament game. It encourages live streams with commentary and live shows. It helps with the fan base of individual players and teams. People can tune in and watch their favourites battle each other. It also encourages people to download replays, analyse tactics, educate themselves and also make cool videos of epic plays. And what else do they have in common? And this is the big one, so make sure you pay attention. It's the fact that the game that the pro teams play in tournaments and competitions is almost identical in gameplay mechanics to the game that everyone else plays. And this is a big reason why these games are so popular as esports titles. It's because the spectators and the average Joe gamer gets it. He can watch it and follow along, he can see how the pros play and learn new and interesting tactics, and then he can go and play it for himself. He can play the same game that he saw Naniwar and Leenock play, he can copy the positions he saw Get Right play on Dust 2. It's all about accessibility and relatability. Is that a word? Well, now it is. So how does this relate to Battlefield 4? Well, when I say I'd love an esports mode in Battlefield 4, I'm not saying, oh, we're a group of elite players that should have our own version of the game that's completely customizable and perfectly suited to our needs, because that's ridiculous and that would never happen. Doing stuff like that just splits the user base in two. If mod tools were available, that'd most certainly happen as well, but we ain't going to get mod tools, it just ain't going to happen. Now, what I'm saying is that myself and a lot of people I know would love to see some sort of competitive esports tournament mode in Battlefield 4. Something that works well for ladder and league play, a series of well-designed maps and game modes that are well suited to 5 versus 5 tournament play. It doesn't need to be drastically different to the public play, but I personally don't see a problem with disabling some of the features from public play that are bad for competitive games. As an example, in Battlefield 3 automatic sound triggers, you throw a grenade at a doorway and you hear an enemy player yell out, "Oh shit, get down, it's a grenade." You now know that that guy's there and he ain't done nothing wrong. He's been forced to make a mistake. Now if you removed a feature like that for an esports mode, would it have a big effect on players coming from the public game wanting to try out competitive? No, I don't think it would. However, on the flip side, things like disabling suppression, increasing bullet damage and player speed would have a big effect on guys who want to try out both game types. It's definitely a hard scale to balance and it's quite tough to make everyone happy. You certainly don't want public players trying out the competitive tournament versions of the game and then finding out that they've got to relearn everything. That's very bad. Ultimately though, I think a fine gentleman called Dasko absolutely nails it. If you don't know who Dask is, I'll link his channel in the description below, but he's been around the Battlefield competitive scene for a while in both BF2 and BF3. He's also heavily involved at the moment with Level BF and shoutcasting, which he does a great job at. And he put it like this, I'm paraphrasing here a little bit, but this is the gist of it. He said having a different and exclusive esports mode creates larger barriers to entry for new players who essentially have to relearn how to play because the game mechanics they've built their experience around aren't there. Good esports games do well because they put a focus on a balanced gameplay experience in vanilla game modes. The bar must be set higher. And I think Daskra is right. It's not about splitting the audience in two, it's about making a well-balanced game and then building esports mode and tournaments around that. But the fundamentals need to be there, and I really hope that DICE take on board some of the community feedback and look at our requests seriously if they're planning to add something like this to Battlefield 4 multiplayer. It's got to be done right, and I think if it's done right, it'll be incredibly successful. There's no doubt about it in my mind. And that's about it really. I love competitive gaming and I love Battlefield, and I think that it could be a fantastic tournament game. Now, I'm lucky enough to have a platform, a soapbox if you will, from where people can listen to me, but a lot of guys and girls in the gaming scene aren't as fortunate. If you're one of those people and you feel like your opinion goes unheard and you want to see this sort of thing I'm talking about in Battlefield 4, you know what I mean, esports, competitive game modes and maps that work well in tournament play, then you gotta let DICE know that you want it. Tweet the devs, post on forums talking about it and discussing it, send emails. If you think this stuff is a good idea, then let DICE know. I'm not saying spam the whole DICE developer team. You don't even have to address them personally if you don't want to. But if you do send tweets and messages to the developers and community managers, please do it with some respect and positivity. Ranting and complaining won't get you anywhere. But I feel that if we let our voice be heard, maybe, just maybe, it'll make a difference. I'm not an advocate of hashtags, but if you use Twitter, just come up with something like hashtag BF4 esports or hashtag BF4 tournaments, something like that. Just be creative, just anything that represents how you feel about this subject. Before I wrap things up, I wanted to show you guys how you can try out some 5v5 Battlefield 3 games if you've never done it before and you just fancy giving it a shot. This is just one way of doing it, and this is how I would play a 5v5 match on BF3. First off, I want to say that I don't work for the ESL, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. This is just the easiest and best way to play competitive BF3 matches. So you need to go to www.esl.eu, make an account on there if you haven't got one already. Once you're logged in, click on the big Play Versus sign at the top. This is going to pop up a window. Now from here you can select Battlefield 3 from the list. There's other games there too, but select BF3 and you'll be able to go with Small Conquest or Squad Rush. Take note, you've also got to download the Wire anti-cheat to start searching for a game. This is just a small program, it's very unintrusive. You install it on your PC and it checks for cheats and you can't play without it. There's a link there you can click on. Once you've got it downloaded and logged in, you can click on search for match. This is going to put you in a game with 9 other people. It'll provide you with a link to a server on Battlelog and also the password. Then all you got to do is connect to the server and you'll be able to start the match after a warm-up period. It's nice and easy. Try it out if you've never played it before. It's actually quite fun. Remember as well that you can party up with other people if you want to play with your friends on voice comms or just people that you know. Right, so we're almost done with today's video apart from a little bit of promotion at the end here. I've got a series exclusive to the Machinima UK channel airing at the moment. There's 3 episodes out so far. It's called ARMA 3 City Soldiers, and basically I've got together with a load of my mates and we've played some custom missions on ARMA 3 and just had a bit of a laugh really. It's very funny, so I'd advise you to go and check it out if you like my DayZ and Wasteland videos. Annotations are on the screen now for the first 3 videos and also in the description down below if you're on a mobile device. Sweet, so that's it for today folks. Hope you enjoyed this. Leave me a rating and maybe a comment. Let me know how you feel. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.